Thanks for that wonderful introduction. Good evening. I'm very honored to have been asked to speak to you tonight. It brings back memories that happened only a few years ago. As I came back to the Hill, I remembered decisions and challenges that I faced as graduation approached. At the time, I did not recognize all the tools the Institute had given me for the future. Of course, I still haven't figured out where a tour squad fits in. But the academic and leadership challenges here prepared me for situations I never thought I'd be a part of. All of you remember your grad week, that's what they still call it. A time of shaved heads, out-of-step recruits, first sergeants, and square corners. Overall, it was organized chaos. For some of you, it was the most challenging experience that you've ever faced. As time went on, you became yearlings and old cadets, preparing to lead others as well as follow, to establish yourselves by the honor code. And now you look to the future, taking all the experiences and friendships with you. Some of you will continue on as second and first class cadets. And having been a part of that, I highly encourage it. It only adds to what you've built so far. The esprit de corps, the discipline, and proficiency you display here is rare, and carried on throughout the years here at NMMI as a tradition. General Livesey once said, "Leadership is ratified in the hearts and minds of your soldiers." As a platoon leader with the 4th Infantry Division facing the Iraqi border, I led a 230 vehicle convoy up to Baghdad, and then continued on with my platoon, completing a 650-mile convoy north of Tikrit. This is a convoy that they say was the longest since World War II for tracked vehicles. The road march took 4 days through sandstorms and enemy territory, with rising heat that would later cap out in the summer to about 155 degrees. This was the easy part. Very quickly, I found myself making decisions that would decide the fate of American soldiers I led, as well as the Iraqi people we had come to liberate. As we moved north, we overtook enemy forces whose will to fight seemed to have disappeared during Desert Storm, years earlier. We destroyed vehicles and weapon systems that had been out of date for decades. We soon found an enemy who wore no standard uniform, one who operated whenever and wherever he pleased, one who shook your hand in the daytime, only to fire mortars on your position at night. We soon found a fluid battlefield changing into a stability and support operation. Keeping soldiers healthy and maintaining high levels of morale often had more to do with mission success than any other weapon system in our inventory. The point we learned, as you have and will, is that you will have battles and wars called life's challenges. These challenges will often be overcome with quick victories. You will often find that your ability to be efficient and proactive in life will lead you to periods where you'll find yourself in a defensive rather than offensive posture. You'll often be forced to change your tactics and bring forth new ideas. How you operate and carry yourself in a professional setting will play a major role in the future success of you and your organization. In moments of greatness, there are those who are indecisive, and there are those whose decisions and guidance will be followed by everyone under them. In years to come, you'll find yourself in similar situations as you join our armed services. For others, your contribution will be no less of importance. For in fact, as you become managers and executives of our nation's industries, you'll have soldiers of your own. Your leadership will help set a positive tone for the future of our nation. One of the moments that had the greatest impact on me during the deployment happened after an enemy ambush. For the last 10 months, the enemy had been adjusting its tactics to gain an advantage on us. Continually, we repelled attacks with grenades, RPGs, small arms fire, and various until a terrorist cell buried enough explosives in the ground to create a hole as large as a tank. On 3 separate occasions, we lost Bradford linebackers as they were destroyed beyond repair. On 2 of those occasions, we lost American soldiers. Both of them, of those occasions, they were from my battery. And still, the next day, we were on patrol. Each soldier in my battery volunteered to go on patrol, so someone else would not have to go. We all knew that to let up our vigilance would allow the enemy to gain a foothold. For greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. John 15:13. Those soldiers in my battery reminded me of the heroes who rushed to the tower, to the Trade Center, to help those who couldn't help themselves. It reminded me of those who went to work the next day to ensure the market would stay open. It reminded me of that rare feeling of camaraderie when those at your right and those on your left have endured and overcome the same challenges as you. As you enter into the outside world in college, remember a few things. Your college experience will be one of the greatest and most expensive experiences you will ever have. 2, that patriotism is much more than hanging a flag in your yard. 3, keep in contact with each other, because very soon you'll realize just how close the third class really is. And finally, request as many senior privileges as possible. Only get one shot, and I'm sure the Commandant looks forward to granting them all. Thank you.
Thank you, St. Christmas. I'm going to have to ask you to would you like to present? This is from the third class.
Centennial History, New Mexico Military Institute Visions. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
This time I'd like to ask Colonel Jack Fox to come up and announce the third class awards.
Lieutenant Christmas, again, thank you for being with us, and I think it's safe for me to say, for the entire third class, you honor us with your presence. Welcome. The third class has some awards that they've started presenting over the last couple of years, but first there is one extremely important award that is a tradition that is presented to a third classman at the third class dinner each year. This award is named for an Institute cadet who represents, as Lieutenant Christmas does, the finest things that we would hope that we would become. The Cash Scardo Award. The Cash Scardo Award is presented to a third class cadet who reflects the same qualities of loyalty, strength, and ability to endure hardships that Mr. Scardo, class of 1937 high school, demonstrated as a 3.5-year prisoner of war in the Philippines. After completing college, he joined the National Guard and achieved the rank of Major of the 200th Coastal Artillery. Mr. Scardo was a native of Clovis, and at the age of 7 went to work for his father at the Citizens Bank of Clovis, New Mexico. He acquired a major interest in the Silver City American National Bank, the largest financial institution in Silver City. He was president until his death on 26 January 1991 at the age of 72. To survive in a prisoner of war camp, a person must be strong spiritually, mentally, and physically, plus be willing to help others. when they are sick or injured. This year's recipient has truly demonstrated to each and every member of the Corps strength, character, and endurance through some extremely trying and adverse circumstances. He cannot be with us tonight because he is representing you and New Mexico Military Institute with the Gauss Rifles. We will present him as an award at a later date, but I think each of you recognizes the fact that Cadet Justin Smith is truly worthy to be your cash starter recipient for this year. To those that are guests here, Mr. Smith, Cadet Smith, was in a tragic accident. He suffered a lot of personal pain and anguish, some disfigurement, and when others might have chosen to leave the Corps, he has endured repeated surgeries, and his love of the Corps is evident, and he will complete and graduate this year. And so I wish he could be here tonight, but I think his classmates would vouch for him that he represents the finest of the qualities that we know Cash Carter represents. I do have some other awards that were voted on by the class. I will ask that the recipients stand and be recognized. At the completion of the dinner tonight, I've been asked to ask you to all gather together for some pictures. The class favorites in 2004 for the third class. The most high-speed female cadet is Rebecca Ralph. Male cadet is Greg Oswald. The funniest is Audrey Thomas, female. And the male is John Malone. I see he honestly feels he's worthy of that award. Most likely to succeed, female Rosario Escobedo. And Lawrence Austin. Most caring, Ana De Mateo. Casey Williams. Casey also is living proof that Tommy John surgery hopefully works. So best athlete, Carolyn Hopgood. And I believe Carolyn is being an athlete tonight. And then there's a tie, Cutter Cabin and Nate Post. Best smile, Deanne Dien. Again, congratulations to each of you on behalf of your classmates who voted you these honors.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Colonel Fox. I'd like to introduce General Butler.
Todd, welcome back. We're so pleased to have you back, but also the words that you've presented. I'm surprised you got totally through your presentation since the studs in your father's shirt were popping so great in your direction as he was here, and I understand why a proud mom and dad are here as well. Well, you're about ready to complete a very, very important chapter in your lives. And a difficult chapter. One that shows that you have met challenges here. First of all, you walked in to know you would have a challenge, and you certainly stood up to that well. My question to you tonight is, what about the rest of the book that you all are beginning to assimilate? I hope it will be a non-fiction, not a fiction book. I hope it won't be a mystery novel for you all. I think it's important that you look forward to those chapters. There will be some chapters that you certainly won't anticipate. But nevertheless, you have a responsibility to try to direct those chapters to the success that you might wish. Yes, I'm going to bring up a musical, as I frequently do. Again, that man from La Mancha, this silly old man who thought to tilt windmills, to treat a bar lady with great respect, who believed that the world could be different than it was, that we shouldn't accept the standard, but rather attempt to reach for something greater, to reach for that unreachable stuff. And that's what I'm asking you to do tonight. You have a wonderful start in your book of life. Grasp and reach for that unreachable star. I know you can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, General Beckle. I'd like to thank you for attending our third class dinner. And I'd like to ask you to stand and join me in singing very close.
Amen.